Hey, all you minties. I was just jamming to our awesome new opening, which is amazing. I hope everyone else is jamming as well. This is your host, the amazing Amanda, my lovely co-host, Uncanny Omar.
Hey, what's
Hey.
up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us for our review, spoiler review of Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, and Moon Knight. Whatever
Yes.
happens will happen. So we'll get there.
Yes. Exactly.
Thank you so much. We are Venomni Dog. I agree. They are pretty cool.
Yes.
Those
And
are
who
really
did
cool.
those again? Shout out to who did that for us.
That was Keenan Karen. He is he watches the show, and he's a good guy that reached out to me to see how he can help. And yeah, we've been working together on some intros and transitions and things like that. We are going to be talking about spoilers in case you haven't seen the movie, or in case you haven't seen Moon Knight, but we are going to be splitting up this episode into different segments. First, talking about
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Let's just do it. Let's start off the bat, and then we'll talk about Moon Knight, and then, time permitting, any of the crazy stuff going on in entertainment news this past week. So good evening, everyone. I'm so happy you guys can join us today. So Omar and I had gotten to see this movie last night with our family, and it was a much better experience, let's just say as right off the bat, than when we saw the Batman. Why? We went to a more expensive theater where it didn't look like there was many people because there's literally, what you say about like 6 or 8 feet between each row, right?
Yeah, it was
just walking space.
I made the comment that it was very it's not as full as I thought it should have been on a Friday night for a Marvel opening night movie.
Yeah, but it is a smaller theater. I think it filled up as the lights went down, but it's weird because there's not as many seats in this particular theater because of the way it's designed. So when I screamed at a certain part, I think I was the only one in the audience who really freaked out.
I think so too. But we'll get there when we talk about the spoilers. So yeah, really quickly, give us a little bit about this movie. This movie's been a couple of years in the making. It was originally supposed to be directed by
Scott Derrickson.
Okay, and due to creative differences, he
dropped out.
He decided to leave, and in stepped somebody that's a little familiar with superhero movies because of Darkman. And that is, of course, Sam Raimi. And yes, he also directed these tiny, tiny little movies called Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Anyway, Darkman.
One could say he ushered in a renaissance of superhero filmmaking.
One could say he started the whole multiverse.
One could say
that. I don't know. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive deep into this. The premise of the story. And then what we think about the plot, the acting, the direction, and everything. So just in case you haven't seen it, Doctor Strange spoilers begin right now at this.
I even got my Doctor Strange shirt on to commemorate how exciting this is.
I've got my George Perez shirt on because
may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Okay. Like a lot of our shows have started this way as of late. It's kind of getting a little sad.
Yeah, Neil Adams last week, and then
exactly.
George Perez. So it sucks.
So
Benedict Cumberbatch reprising his role.
On a lighter note, I guess lighter in that this is only a 2 hour and 6 minute movie, which I thought it was going to be a longer runtime like Spider-Man, but yes, it is only clocked in at 2 hours and 6 minutes. PG-13. Directed by Sam Raimi. The writer for the movie is also the same writer for Loki. So definitely got the multiverse thing, which, spoiler alert, guys, we didn't see Loki in this. Like a lot of cameos people had hyped up and theorized about seeing. And I think where with Spider-Man, we all got that, satisfaction or of what we expected. People, I think, hyped this movie up too much on cameos. So when they didn't follow through, at least from what I've read on some Reddit threads and reviews and things like that, some people seem to be upset they didn't get the cameos they wanted. But I think it's all about we need to manage our expectations at this point. So
Hayden, that's awesome.
I saw it, Hayden, and happy birthday. Today, is it still today for you, Hayden? Is his birthday?
I wished Hayden a happy birthday earlier today.
Me too, on Facebook. Yeah.
Doesn't count. I gave Hayden a shout out on Near Me Condition in the morning. AM.
Good job.
The movie was far from perfect, but it was a lot of fun. I was surprised by the simplicity of the plot. Let's talk a little about that because people's predictions and predictions got really crazy.
Got really crazy. But let's talk about the plot.
I will say before we get started, because we do have to come back to this, I was really pissed off at the marketing with this. It really made me mad. That to me, the biggest thing that would have made me jump up and be excited got completely ruined for me because of marketing. And I hope it's handled better from now on. But I'll talk about that when we talk about that scene.
I have a feeling I know what that is. Okay. So plot is pretty simplistic, actually. We jump right into action where we see a multiverse version of Stephen Strange and with a ponytail. And he is running in
very Defenders Stephen Strange, the way that his outfit looked, by the way. Okay. I am going to be throwing the Easter eggs in there because I did catch a couple. I don't think I caught them all, but I caught quite a few.
I think it requires a little bit of a rewatch, especially during the multiverse.
Well, when they're jumping through the multiverse, I think that was Tribunal, but that was about it.
Anyway, so he is with a new character that was just introduced straight into the action. Her name is America Chavez, and they are being chased by some type of demon, and they are trying to get to the Book of Ashanti, which I believe they've mentioned in the original Doctor Strange movie in 2016. So it's not an artifact that should be unknown to any of those who just follow the MCU. Obviously, comic book fans know a little bit more about this MacGuffin because there's lots of MacGuffins in this movie. That's one of them. So as they're trying to run away from this demon, it's clear the demon wants America Chavez for her powers, which as of yet, the audience quite doesn't know until she is taken by the demon. He manages to grab her as she's trying to escape or get to the Book of Ashanti. This Doctor Strange in this multiverse, he felt like the only way to stop the demon was to take her powers from her, and she felt betrayed by that. But of course he wasn't able to because he got pretty much sliced in. He just got killed, man, right away. And he does manage, before he gets killed, he manages to kill the demon before he dies himself. And we realize very quickly her power is to basically punch these star-shaped windows into different multiverses. Of course, she gets sucked into to the window along with dead Doctor Strange, and they end up in our universe, which we've come to find out is 616. I just want to know how Mysterio knew that back in No Way Home, in Far From Home, because what a coincidence, man. What a smart guy. How did he know that we were the 616 universe? He just made that shit up, I thought.
Mysterio was a multiverse hopper.
So cut to our Doctor Strange in our universe. He's getting ready for a wedding. He has his watch, a watch that plays a predominant role in this film as well. The watch that he got from Christine. And he's on his way to Christine's wedding. So Christine is getting married. Obviously, he did, everything happened after 2016, the dusting that happened, and he got dusted. Time moved on. She met someone else. She got married. And Steven is obviously a hero that everyone is familiar with. He does briefly mention Spider-Man, but not obviously Peter Parker by name, but the events of what happened in No Way Home very briefly. And before him and Christine can really try to rehash their relationship at her reception, which is always a great time to do it, they hear a lot of commotion outside. He does this really cool thing where he jumps off the cliff and turns into Doctor Strange, and everyone's taking pictures because this is the world we live in where superheroes just are all over the place and out in the open. And he goes and he sees this young girl who seems to be getting followed or chased by something, and he's able to use his powers to reveal it, and it is Shumagorath, but they don't call him
Gargantua
or Gargantuan. They don't call him, but basically that's what he looks like. And so he's trying to stop the demon, and the girl of course recognizes him as the Steven from another universe. Then Wong comes in And this is where him and Wong have to do some heavy lifting into trying to defeat the demon. They eventually do manage to defeat this demon Shuma Gorath kind of creature by basically taking a magical arrow into his eye and pulling his eyeball out in a very gruesome fashion.
Pretty Sam Raimi.
Pretty Sam Raimi. Yeah. Gross. Yeah. If I had a gift for that, which it's hard to find some of that stuff right now because people haven't really been putting that out yet because it's only been out for a couple days. But it was pretty gruesome. So they managed to kill the creature. And then they have to, of course, track down America Chavez. They managed to track her down. And this is where she basically reveals to them that she is being hunted for her powers. She explains what her powers are. She also shows them the dead Doctor Strange. So, of course, our Doctor Strange does the right thing and he buries them on top of a roof in New York, which gross.
Along with a bunch of other dead bodies, as we come to find out.
Exactly. So it's, par for the course. It's New York. I mean, codes be damned. So basically, they decide they need to take her to Kamar-Taj to keep her safe. And while Wong takes her to Gargantos, yes, thank you. While they take him to her to Kamar-Taj, they realize that she's trying to look for the Book of Ashanti. This has to do more with witchcraft than it does sorcery because there's a difference. And so he says there's only one person he knows he needs to go to talk about witchcraft, and that would be
Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus, yes. So, of course, then we cut to, now, for those who are familiar, at the end of WandaVision, it ends with an end credit scene where she's in the middle of this, mountainous area with this lake, and she's reading through the Darkhold and doing her magic stuff, and she hears her son's voices. So you have to fill in the blanks of what happens between that point till we get to meet her in Doctor Strange, pretty much. So as we meet her in the movie, she's having what we come to find out is a dream of her with her two sons, and it turns out to be a dream. And dreams play a very big, important part because our Doctor Strange in the beginning, he actually dreamt all the events that happened to America and her Doctor Strange with the ponytail. And we learned that America, yeah. So we learned that dreams, you can actually see versions of yourself in the multiverse in. It's like your glimpse into
it's a window into a multiverse version of yourself, which
makes me wonder about my dreams.
Interesting.
Interesting
within the MCU rules that they've already established, that there was no multiverse, and now dreams are part of that. I don't know. So I found that really interesting. Isn't 616 the original comic? So why was Strange World called 616, or did I miss something? Isn't MCU Earth 199999? No, they are living in the 616 universe. That is the main line universe for Marvel Comics and the MCU. And it is official now because of this. It was official because, of course, of Alan Moore during his run of Captain Britain, when he established that there are different multiverses, other dimensions, and different Captain Britons from other dimensions. He was the first one to establish that number. A lot of people speculated that it's the original sign of the beast because of 666 or 666. That was a misconception, that it's really 616. Alan Moore, I think, just like that number. I don't think there was any deeper meaning than that. So for the movies, it's the same thing. We needed more hot dog fingers in Doctor Strange 2. Okay. So America Chavez.
Yeah. So Doctor Strange goes to visit Wanda to get information, see if she can help him. And he's telling her that, this girl has come to the multiverse. There are these demons that are coming after her for her powers because she can travel the multiverse. He was asking her what she knew about the multiverse. And he had mentioned, the demons had runes on them, which is a signal of witchcraft, which is why they thought we need to go talk to her. And as he's talking to Wanda, she suggests that they bring America. She says, why don't you bring America Chavez here? And of course, Dr. Strange stops and said, and she's like, you never told me her name, did you? Why did she give herself away? Anyway, so of course she quickly becomes the villain very fast, where this whole peaceful nature scene that she's been living in turns into this Darkhold nightmare, if you will. And she pretty much gives Steven the ultimatum to hand over.
Can I just say that was very well kept hidden from the trailers. That is one good thing from the trailers that they kept well hidden, was the fact that she was going to play the villain. I thought she was going to turn later. From the beginning, she's established as like, no, I'm going to go and do whatever it takes, kill anybody that I need to get to my children. And holy crap, that is a big game changer from the ending of Wanda. Well, I mean, the ending of WandaVision where she got redemption, and then she's messing with the Darkhold. That's not gonna be good.
The Darkhold's corruption, right? And so her whole premise is she knows, because she's been studying the Darkhold, that there are multiverses and there are other universes where she gets to be with her children, and she wants to go and be in one of those universes. The only way she can do that is to get America Chavez and use her powers for herself so that she can travel the multiverse.
And I also like the explanations of why she would need that power. Because in my head, I was like, well, why does she even need that? Why doesn't she just tell America Chavez to take her to one multiverse or one dimension and just keep her there? But I love the loophole explanation of like, no, what if my child gets sick and they don't have a cure for their disease in that universe? I need to jump to another dimension because I will do whatever it takes to keep my children alive. Holy crap, the drive of a mother, like, I don't know. It makes, we'll talk about it here in a little bit, but I love that. I love that explanation. Nice little work around the loophole. So
because you could have just banded together with her.
When she said that, it didn't make any sense to me at the time. And later on, she brought it up. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad they went over that.
Yeah. So she essentially wants these powers. And of course, she's corrupted by the Darkhold. She gives Steven an ultimatum. Steven pretty much goes back to Kamar-Taj, says we are preparing for battle now because it's Wanda. She's the one who's after her. And this leads to a pretty crazy battle at Kamar-Taj. So, of course, Wanda shows up in this big red giant cloud and appears. And all of these different, sorcerers from all over come and band together at Kamar-Taj. We see a number of different folks. And
Rintra! I really thought he was going to get killed. Like, throwing him in there, I'm like, no one's going to ask about the big green Minotaur just hanging out.
Yeah, just a regular,
Like, did I miss a Marvel movie or TV show where they were like, oh, welcome to our world, Rintra? No, I think it's just understood. Sometimes crap happens in these movies, and now a green giant Minotaur hanging out with a bunch of monks, makes sense.
Pretty normal. If I was a sorcerer, I would think that's pretty normal too, given everything that they've seen or they could have seen throughout the years. So, of course, Wong tells him to choose his words wisely, but there's really no mincing words with Wanda. Basically, when Steven refuses to give America to her, she then tries to attack him, but of course, he has the full might of the Kamar-Taj sorcerers behind him, but Wanda is powerful. She is able to get into their minds because we've seen her already use that power a long time ago, back at Age of Ultron. And she's able to make them run away, which then breaks down their defenses. And then she just comes in and she just clears house.
We need to talk about this really quick because you kind of went over it a little bit, and that's okay because there's a lot to talk about. But I thought that was one of the better subtle scenes where he is sitting there at the church witnessing his ex-girlfriend getting married and moving on with her life, but he's sitting there with what is his name, Nicodemus? It's a character from The Oath, right? The Doctor Strange The Oath, the comic.
But he was in the original.
That's one of the rare scenes where somebody is looking at Doctor Strange not like a hero, but like there wasn't another way. Like, you took our lives from us. Like, I thought that was really good and really subtle, and it kind of hit home because, some people would be handling it like that. Maybe it's jealousy, of course, but I thought it was jealous. And I thought that scene, like I said, subtle, fast, it made sense. So
And I think it has to also play into, since Christine plays a large part in Doctor Strange, in Stephen's plot throughout this entire movie, it makes sense that we have to establish what the relationship right now at the given time in his universe is. So that when he sees that Christine from the other universe, you already kind of understand where he's coming from in that regards.
Another plot hole was never addressed why Wanda couldn't be transferred to any number of infinite worlds wherein their children were still alive, but her native version had somehow died. I will be honest with you, at that point in the movie, I don't think she cared.
Yeah.
Her drive was, no matter what, she made it clear she was going to kill anyone that is in her way, including herself. Take it from here, Amanda.
Yeah. So she is able to get past the defenses at Kamar-Taj, and where they managed to trap her, and she uses the reflections to get out and get to where they're located within Kamar-Taj. It was a really great scene and very creepy. Just when you see her hand coming out of the different reflection pools of water until she goes through that one reflection pool and she's all doing the girl from the ring thing when she comes out of the the TV. She had that same look about her, the way she moves out of there. And of course, again, trying to take America's powers, but she ends up, both of them end up going through a portal, of course, getting away from Wanda. And this is the scene where they're jumping through multiple different universes, and you get to see when they're paint. They're a cartoon.
That reminded me of Inside. What was the movie? The Pixar movie?
With Inside?
Inside Out, right? Yeah, with the imaginary friend where they go through that one thing and they're going through like block world.
The Picasso thing.
There was a black and white world. That's where I saw the Living Tribunal, was during that scene. Like it was it was there. And I was thinking, because it was going so fast and spinning around in a very Sam Raimi way, which is great. But I thought one of the universes was like the Evil Dead universe because it was dark and there's like zombies popping up out of the ground. But then again, that could be anything.
Agreed. So they end up in a universe that they're in New York City. It looks like our New York City, except very overgrown with plant life and grass and weeds. It's very beautiful. And of course, they run into one of our expected cameos, and that's Bruce Campbell.
I was telling my brother it would have been awesome if like Sam Raimi had brought Macy Grace back from Spider-Man 1.
Macy Grace
to be the Sorcerer Supreme of this earth. That would have blown everybody's mind.
Yeah, because they were like, wait a minute, who is she again? Because she hasn't made music and like, well, at least music
since Nickelback. I think Nickelback has more hits than hers. But anyway,
Nickelback
does have more hits. He's like, my brother, you're back. You told me you'd be back, and he gives him some.
Wait, that's Mordo, but we'll get there.
Oh.
So Bruce Campbell is just the guy that sells the hot dogs and tells them where they can find Stephen Strange, or at least the museum dedicated to Stephen Strange, the Sanctum Sanctorum. And as they're walking through, there's this weird thing where you can step on a stone and you can view memories. So this is interesting because, of course, Stephen steps on the stone and you see the memory of when Christine first gives him that watch. They had to kind of de-age him, shave his beard, all that jazz. But then we also get...
Did you think it was going to be that universe's Doctor Strange memory, though? Because if it's the DNA, it would be the same DNA, maybe? Even though you're in another universe?
I don't think so, because it's still it's based on him, right? So they wouldn't see the other Stephen Stranges.
Dude, y'all are making the same points I made when I was watching the movie, but we promise we will get there and then review.
We will. Yes, we will get to all your points.
Yeah, so that is the only scene I will say that you get a little bit of America Chavez, like who she is, where she came from, how long she's been traveling, because it is interesting to see a character just thrown in there without any much of a character development. But honestly, the way Black Widow and Hawkeye were introduced, hell, Hawkeye didn't even have a... Black Widow didn't even have a freaking name.
Good point. They serve pizza balls, not slices. We don't have the same DNA.
All right, Curtis, you get a no prize.
Curtis,
that's a good point.
That's a good argument there. See, that's why it only is. So when America Chavez stands on it, we see her in her universe with her two moms, and she's a young girl and she sees a little bee. And that's when her powers are first exposed, and her two parents are sucked into the multiverse, never to be seen or heard from again. Now, obviously, she has traveled the multiverse. She knows she is the only one of her kind because she has searched, and she has not found her moms. So we don't know what happened to them. If they're alive, though Steven told her that, he believes they're alive. So they go to the Sanctum Sanctorum. There's a beautiful, wonderful statue of that universe's Doctor Strange, who apparently died defending the world against Thanos. And we also get greeted to it's not a cameo because we knew he'd be back, and he's what I thought would have been a villain, and that is Baron Mordo.
Sorcerer
Supreme Mordo.
What's his name? Carl Mordo?
Carl, yeah. So we see Baron Mordo, and he's happy to see Steven because, like Omar said, he said, you told me that I'd be seeing you again, because they had talked about the multiverse, him and the old Stephen Strange. And of course, Steven brings up the fact that it's so interesting seeing him there because in his world, his Baron Mordo doesn't like him. So again, we know that they had a disagreement at the end of 2016 Doctor Strange. And the way he talks about him, it's clear between then and now. They must have had some more interactions because there seemed that it just the way that Steven talks about it, there's more to that. Because it didn't like he really said he didn't like him in the end of 2016. He just didn't agree with him. But it seems to me that more has happened since then. Anyways, he thinks this Mordo is a good guy, but then he realizes that he spiked their tea, and he basically drugs them and takes them prisoner to the lair of the Illuminati. That's where he meets their version of Christine, which she works as a fellow for the Baxter Foundation. There's our hint at one of our next cameos.
I think both you and I are like, Baxter. Everybody else on our row was like, shut the hell up.
My husband was like, nerds. I was like, you're a nerd. You're playing Pokemon Go right now. Anyways. So,
dude, you're in a different universe. I thought the same thing. I'm like, come on, Strange, why are you gonna drink that? You trusted him because he gave you a bro hug?
Yeah, he gave him a bro hug. He thought they were friends in this universe. It's all good. Nope, not at all.
Fargate, we're getting there, and I'm gonna talk a lot about that when we talk about our feelings and thoughts.
Our feelings, yes. So of course, Mordo and the Ultron bots, which do exist in this universe, take Steven, leave America Chavez in her little prison chamber that she has, her invisible wall chamber, and they take him to meet the Council of the Illuminati. And we are introduced to a couple of different versions of characters that we have already established in our world, but with different actors playing them. And then some that have reprised roles from different franchise or different shows and movies. And then, of course, one that was just purely fan casted. I'm 100% convinced. So we are introduced to, I got the pictures of some of them. We are introduced to, where's my pictures? Oh,
I deleted all
of them. Anson Mount. He played Black Bolt in the Inhumans show on Hulu that lasted, or ABC. Was it on ABC at the time, right? Yeah. That lasted one season. Did not do well, but I'm glad they brought him back for a cameo. I'm glad they just decided to recast Black Bolt, because in the original comics, the Illuminati, he is in the Illuminati. Another person they bring back is Captain Carter, which we have seen previously in What If, the comics. Again, played live action by Haley Atwell, which is great getting her to see, giving her that role. Then we see Lashana Lynch, who was Maria Rambeau in the Captain Marvel movie with Brie Larson, and now she herself is Captain Marvel. And then we are introduced to, which freaking blew me away, friggin' John Krasinski as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. And that's when I screamed out loud, and I was the only one in the theater who played that.
And then the biggest surprise of them all.
Yes.
The last member of the Illuminati, of course.
Terrence Howard, baby. Baby.
Never should have left.
I can't. I hope someone's watching this who's like, wait, he was in it?
No, he was not in it.
No.
It was
just FYI, that picture is not from the movie though, of John Krasinski, which it looks just like it. That's actually fan art by someone on DeviantArt named Missouri AU. So well done on the fan art. They must have used his inspiration. Yes.
And then the final member is Patrick Stewart. But it was really cool because I think whenever we heard his voice, like immediately we thought, oh, X-Men, cool. And then you hear the theme, but it's the theme to the 1992 cartoon. And he's in his 1992 yellow hover chair from the cartoon. So this is Professor Xavier from the cartoon of X-Men animated series, not Professor Xavier from the Bryan Singer in, I guess, well, no, it was only Bryan Singer that directed him. Yeah, so not from that universe.
Fargate said he was already casted, but
no,
that
believe
was
me,
not.
If anybody would know, it's Amanda.
It was, of course, rumored and fan casted. I mean, I think we've talked about it on the show several times. I would like to see him as like everyone did. I hadn't we knew about another cameo we see later on. We got word about that casting.
I will say this about Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. That's not happening. And the other big rumor was Tom Cruise as Superior Iron Man.
The only question
I said there's no way in hell Tom Cruise does not promote a movie he is in that is the Marvel universe. Like smart. that would have been a Tom Cruise. I mean, this is Tom Cruise we're talking about. Who is in love more with Tom Cruise than Tom Cruise? Nobody. Exactly. And he would promote the hell out of himself being a superhero. So there was no way in hell all the people that were like, oh, Superior Iron Man's going to be in it. No way. And he never showed up. Yeah, I mean, he would have been promoting it months ahead of time.
Everyone keeps saying that John Krasinski was announced. You're all going to have to show me some proof.
I don't know where that happened.
You have to show me an article because
Dwight is Dr. Doom.
I need to see an article because I've never seen an article that actually confirmed casting from anyone, minus rumors and things like that. Nothing confirmed. I need to see an article on that for proof. If anyone could send me a link, that'd be great.
They even added the cartoon you caught, but I thought that was more of a Sam Raimi thing too. But yeah, and then at the end of the credits, it was like the theme was the X-Men 1992 theme. I thought that was a nice little touch. Yeah. So the chair was a nice thing.
It was an interesting touch of cameos, and we'll talk about that because I know people are expecting different people to show up.
I happen to
love Spider-Man being in it, but Tobey Maguire's version, it was insane.
So apparently Krasinski wasn't announced; he was leaked. I didn't know he was leaked. I was already pissed off because my favorite thing that was in this movie was Patrick Stewart.
Dude, that leak went past me, and I see every leak. I don't know how I missed that one. That would have been on my newsfeed.
All right, so let's keep going, and then we'll come back to this particular scene and how people feel about it.
Basically, so the Illuminati's explained to Stephen that he is the most dangerous thing in the universe. In every universe, Stephen Strange is what causes what's called incursions, when Earth's kind of collide, like two universes can collide into each other. Which, if you've read Hickman's run,
look at my girl. I didn't even have to ask her.
You are very familiar with incursions, because that kind of brings the Ultimate and the 616 universe together in the comic books. So if you know anything about the comic book lore, I highly recommend you pick up Hickman, even if you don't like reading a lot of dialogue. Pick up Hickman.
What kind of pitch is that?
I don't know, but Hickman's wonderful. It's I enjoyed the run. We also did a review about that whole run too. On was it really that bad? Old Reader, New Reader, way back in the day. So
way back in the day.
Yeah, way back. God, it's been that long. So check it out. Anyway, so basically they're saying Stephen Strange is the most dangerous being in any universe. They admit that their Stephen Strange actually didn't die by the hands of Thanos. That when Thanos was coming to their Earth to take over, that he went to the Darkhold. Again, another big MacGuffin. He went to the Darkhold to try to find a solution. And when he did that, it obviously
talk about that, Sean.
Yeah, it
really
obviously
quickly.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much for the super chat, Scotty G. Gentleman and a scholar. Happy Mother's Day to Amanda and Melanie. I will let her know.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm very excited for my Mother's Day. It's already been starting. I had a margarita at lunchtime, and it really knocked me out.
Yes, she's still here. She's still here. What a pro.
Yes. So they reveal that they actually ended up killing their own Doctor Strange because he did use the Darkhold to try to find a solution. It kind of overtook him, and while they were able to defeat, he realized it was taking him over. So he was able to, stop the hold on him. But at that point, it was too late. They just felt that they couldn't trust him anymore, that he might do it again. And this version understood, and he let Black Bolt kill him with his power of speech. And he said, "I'm sorry," and blew his head off, blew his whole body apart.
Blew his whole body apart. Yeah.
Well, anyways. So basically, they're saying that Doctor Strange is a danger. He's like, "No, you don't understand. Scarlet Witches." And they're like, "There's nothing." I love how Lashana Lynch is like, "There's nothing that your little witch can do that we can't handle." Now, keep in mind, this is all going on. Our Scarlet Witch is trying to find. She is out there trying to find America Chavez and Doctor Strange using the art of dreamwalking. So early on, they introduced the concept that when you dream, you can dream versions of yourself in different multiverses. So she wants to she's dreamwalking or wants to dreamwalk to find Doctor Strange and America Chavez. And by doing this, she takes over the body of another version of herself to, of course, find them. And before she's able to successfully do this, one of the students at the Kamar-Taj, who Wong thought had died, was still alive. She manages to sacrifice herself by destroying the Darkhold, which destroys the Darkhold's destroys that particular Darkhold. And so without that Darkhold, they realize she doesn't know where she could find it. So of course she's asked Wong. She asked him, "You're the Sorcerer Supreme. You have all the knowledge about the Darkhold because you're given that knowledge. You tell me the spell to do dreamwalking." And he said, "I don't know the spell, but I do know where we can go," which is the original place. What's the place called that they were at, that the Darkhold's at?
Mount Wundagore.
Wundagore,
yeah.
Yes.
It's from
Wundagore. I think it's Wundagore.
But it's where the High Evolutionary hangs out.
Yes, that's right, where the High Evolutionary is. So of course,
I wanted to highlight this question really quick because I was trying to see that too. The statues, like as they were thrown around, I'm like, okay, they would have to have different statues in this world of different characters we haven't seen yet. If we have already established mutants and the Fantastic Four are part of this, and it was going so fast I couldn't see them, so I'm gonna have to watch it again to try to catch that.
Yeah. So Wong and Wanda travel to Wundagore. Whoa, there's a lot of W's, guys, in that sentence. And we realize that this place is where the original spells for the Darkhold were first casted. They're all written out. And obviously, there's these great big Bolgrog looking types of creatures there that serve her, because we realized this place was meant.
Were those the mindless ones? Were they supposed to be the mindless ones?
They look like the mindless ones, so I would say that would be accurate.
Big opportunity not bringing back MCU Quicksilver unless his death is a fixed point. I kind of like that. A lot of people, my brother was asking that, like, why didn't she go after her husband? Why didn't she try to find her brother? What's a good question?
Where was Vision in all of these?
Because to me, the way I got it didn't matter. The focus was her children.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that was the mission. And, you know, losing a child as a parent is the worst thing that could possibly happen to you. So I think I was okay with her focus on that. And I don't like, you know, loopholes or missing things that are like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. I can nitpick things like that, but I'm okay with the decision of don't bring in Vision, because that would kind of take away from already a Doctor Strange movie that's already a Wanda turning evil type of movie. And then don't bring in Ralph Boner, because then again, I'm just gonna get pissed off all over again.
It would have been so hilarious if he showed up in that scene anyways. That would be funny.
I'm going to buy and not bother watching. This isn't a comic collected edition; it's a movie.
Yeah. So,
Dire Wraiths. Do they still own the rights to the Dire Wraiths? Can they do that?
I don't know. Which property? Anyways, so she realizes that this place was meant for her because there's a big, large statue of her embedded into the wall of the Scarlet Witch. So, of course, she no longer needs Wong, throws him off a cliff. We think that he's gone, but later we know he's not, because they're not going to kill Wong off. So she then is able to use Wundagore, the original Darkhold, to cast her Dreamwalking spell. She dreamwalks into a version of herself, and then, of course, she heads off to Illuminati's lair, and
love that.
And that's kind of where things get crazy. Which, if you thought the Illuminati were going to play a super important role in the film, they're really just cannon fodder, guys. So
I happen to like that because I'm tired of all these movies like having, we had our Spider-Man team up. That was great. We had our Spider-Man movie, all three Spider-Man swinging around together fighting. I was okay with that, Illuminati. Ooh, let's throw that in there for the comic book people. Oh, but let's go ahead and kill them easy. I was happy with that. I was happy with the way Black Bolt went out. Okay, first of all,
what?
Reed Richards they just introduce him as the smartest guy in the room, and he's like, Wanda, you do know that if Black Bolt says something out of his mouth, he can kill you. And she's like, what mouth?
Thanks for the heads up.
Why did you say that? And then, oh man, but the way he went out was awesome because he starts to scream and then bam! Because he has no mouth, so his brain blows inside of his head. I would say that was the most brutal and as dark as you can get in an MCU
PG-13 film.
What is this, PG-13?
PG-13. A lot of people are arguing should it have been rated R. I'm like, if it was rated R, they would have gone hard. I would have said go hard R with that horror.
Well, yeah, and they kind of worked around some. It's a Sam Raimi movie when she walks in, looking all kinds of hot with that. What's supposed to be blood, but it's really oil, right? After killing all those Ultrons. Yeah, it's kind of his workaround, like, oh, we can't use blood. Not like Morbius, but we can't use blood, but
don't even with
it's like oil. Oh, and there were so many Sam Raimi shots in that scene, and just the way she cut Captain Carter in half. Oh, that was awesome. Her very, very Goblin glider death.
Oh, but in half, like not even just like. I wish they would have. No, I don't wish they would have seen. Maybe do I want to see it? I don't know, but it was intense. But the way they were taken out was very fast and very quick.
I do remember after the movie watching, like when we were talking, I'm like, can you imagine how many people would have stood up and clapped if that was Brie Larson that got killed as Captain Marvel instead?
Yeah.
Like, there are people that genuinely cannot stand Brie Larson, right?
Definitely
don't. But they had casted her as that Captain Marvel and had her killed. Oh man, it would have
been happy. And they were like, wait, does this mean? Yeah, they got confused though. Wait, so Liquid Shogun, Wong Sorcerer Supreme. If you remember No Way Home, because Doctor Strange got dusted and he did not, so Wong became Sorcerer Supreme pretty much by like a default kind of thing. And he's not just going to give it back, I guess, is the idea behind that. After 5 years of Doctor Strange's hiatus of being dusted.
Yep.
That's pretty much happened. So, of course, she's able to kill all the Ultron bots. She destroys the Illuminati. And then, of course, we get Charles Xavier. Let's not forget his round.
That was awesome close-up. Like, of the eye, very Sam Raimi. He goes inside of Wanda, trying to get the Wanda from that world.
Trying to make her escape.
My brother, at that point, noticed her having an accent. I really didn't. But, I mean, she very well could have, and it was just something that I overlooked.
She was trying, that's the Russian accent, or the...
Where is she from?
Sokovia. Sokovian? Is it Sokovia? Yeah, the Sokovian accent. Was she trying that again?
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't catch it.
In WandaVision.
All I caught was that snap, though. That was awesome.
And it was, yeah, so Professor Xavier obviously goes into her mind. He's trying to rescue that universe's Wanda out of her, to reclaim her mind. But of course, you see that looming red cloud, and then these creepy like black hands come out and snap his neck in their mind palace, which of course then snaps his neck in real life. What a way to go for Charles Xavier. I don't know which is worse, that or how he died in Logan. I'm not sure. Spoilers if you haven't seen Logan yet. Anyways, so Christine is able to or Christine and America Chavez work together to get her out of her little prison cell, and then they find Doctor Strange. They're running down a hallway, and we get this really awesome chase scene through the tunnels of the Illuminati lair.
Love that scene. It was so creepy. It was very Evil Dead.
I think I jumped at when she kind of showed up.
You jumped a lot.
I jumped a lot. Yeah, me and horror never mix, but I'll watch horror if it is Marvel for sure. So Werewolf by Night should be fantastic.
I think both Amanda and I, we had talked about it, we thought Nightmare was going to be the villain.
I was kind of hoping, because we're having the different multiverses or universes, I was kind of hoping he would show up. I was just pointing out he's one of my favorite characters.
D'Angelo, we don't include Last Stand.
Oh, we don't.
We don't talk about the Last Stand in this show.
But we could debate which is the worst way he went. We could have a whole episode dedicated to Charles Xavier's death.
He didn't die in Last Stand. He came back at the end as that old guy, didn't he? Oh, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah, I mean, I hated that movie, but I do remember that crappy part.
Right.
He put his mind inside of another old dude. I don't know why he didn't pick like a hot dude to put his mind in. You know, he put his mind inside of another
old guy. Means wisdom.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Okay. So we have a really awesome, creepy chase scene in the tunnels, and they need to go find the Book of Ashanti in whatever universe. So she punches a hole there, or they go to the lair where they would keep, where his Doctor Strange would know where he kept the location of the Book of Ashanti. They go there, they open up, they get to the Book of Ashanti, but of course, not enough time. Wanda comes through the door, and she takes America Chavez, and she sends Doctor Strange and Christine, the other universe's Christine, through all these portals into a universe that seemingly has had probably an incursion happen to it. Everything's kind of floating. It's very dark and sinister. And Wanda, of course, takes America Chavez back, or shoves her through the portal back to her universe, leaves that Wanda's body, and that Wanda wakes up like, what the heck? And so she kind of flies out and leaves and goes back to her life for now, of course, because she is about to, if Wanda has her way, I guess, lose that life. Still don't know what she's going to do with that version of herself.
Dude, no Necronomicon Easter egg. However, when Bruce Campbell's at the very end looking at his hand, talking to his hand, come on, who didn't get Evil Dead vibes from that?
Yeah, very much so. So Doctor Strange and Christine are in this universe where they go to that universe's Sanctum Sanctorum, realize there is a Doctor Strange there, who, of course, got corrupted by the Darkhold, and this is what happened to his universe.
Is that the Doctor Strange from the What If episode?
I think it's supposed to be a version of that one.
Okay.
But I don't think he doesn't mention doing it because he was trying to save Christine. Because that was the whole premise of the What If, was that he was trying to save Christine's life, and it seemed like he just couldn't.
That wasn't the Peggy Carter from that What If episode either, because this is another variant. So
yeah, I think
What If is completely skippable.
Yeah, I think What If, just if you watched it, then you kind of understand that there can be other versions, and these would be what they would look like. So we're not completely surprised, because we also do get a zombie Doctor Strange, which of course we saw zombies in that as well. Then we have a zombie Doctor Strange, zombie Scarlet Witch. Now that was scary. So, that particular Stephen Strange, of course, was corrupted by the Darkhold. He still has the Darkhold. Of course, our Doctor Strange is like, well, I need to use the Darkhold, and because that's the only way I can try to get back to my universe and try to stop Scarlet Witch from taking America Chavez's powers. They have a battle, and he does manage to defeat that version's Doctor Strange.
It is important to talk about this battle, though, because Bert is asking what you guys think about fighting with the musical notes. I will say, whenever you have Danny Elfman,
this is where he showcases his talents.
You want to use Danny Elfman as much as possible. He writes beautiful music. They're not all hits, right? They're not all memorable, but he does have some amazing scores.
Many of them are, though.
I actually, I'm sure there are a lot of people that thought that was cringy as hell. I actually thought that was really cool because we hadn't seen Doctor Strange fight with magic up until that point.
Not really like that. I mean,
there was a lack of magic in this movie for a movie about Doctor Strange. I mean, a lot of dark arts, right? Dark arts, but him using different types of magic and lots of portals and using America Chavez as, like, well, you said it earlier, right? She is kind of the MacGuffin too in this movie.
Well, she is. The Book of Ashanti is. Which
I agree with that. I didn't think about her being a MacGuffin until you said the Book of Ashanti and the Book of Darkhold are, but in a way,
too.
So Yeah, I think I thought the fighting with the musical notes and the music, and like I said, the Danny Elfman music in there, I thought that was really cool and unique. We hadn't seen that. Like I said, I can understand why people think it was cringy and stupid, but I liked it.
It was one of my favorite fights. I enjoyed it immensely. Just how and this is where I think Danny Elfman really showcased his abilities as a composer. Just the way he was able to compose the different crescendos and things of the music and how the different notes sounded. I thought it was spot on and really cool. But of course, that fight does result in that version of Stephen Strange losing his life. He gets impaled. A lot of impaling going on. It was like
I honestly thought of Fantasia. I'll be honest. I thought of Fantasia. And that's my favorite too. Disney movie, though.
Yeah, but I don't think I can share this movie because I think it is a little too horror for.
You're okay with sharing Fantasia? It's got mountain.
No, Lyndon's seen both Fantasias.
Yeah, it's got Night on Bald Mountain. That's scarier than anything in this movie. The demon on top of the mountain summoning a bunch of demons? I don't know. She
saw, we'll talk about zombie Stephen Strange because he did make me laugh. But
oh, that was a deadite. That was no zombie. That was a straight up Sam Raimi deadite. That's all that was, and I loved it.
That was great. Okay, so after he defeats that version of Stephen Strange by impaling him on his gate, Christine comes in and he's like, I need you to guard my body. And she's like, what are you doing? This is all you Stephen Strange are alike. And he's like, I'm not like the other ones. I just want to protect my friend. And I need to stop Scarlet Witch from this happening. So he uses the Darkhold to then take over the only body of Stephen Strange in his current universe, which is, hey, Phil, which is the dead Stephen Strange. So then we get zombie Stephen Strange making his way to Wundagore, making his way there so that he can.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Wundagore. Someone else, I think Hayden had put it in the chat.
You were saying Wundagore, like I was like, oh my god, I must have fallen asleep to that part of the movie where she made a copy of the Darkhold and call it the Wundagore.
Yes.
I don't know how it's pronounced. It's Wundagore. Wundagore. However the hell you pronounce it. It's somewhere out in Transia, which is where, like I said, the High Evolutionary hangs out.
Yes. Immortal Ipsy said, my God, I completely forgot about Mephisto. Feels so irrelevant now. I think maybe Mephisto's going to show up.
That's the plan. They're going to make you forget. And then when he shows up, you're going to be like, oh my God, it was Mephisto all along.
Mephisto, he's real. So, of course, as he's making his way there, he does tell Christine he has to, keep charge of my body or look over my body because, of course, the souls of the undead or whatever, they're not going to, or the demons are not going to be happy that I'm entering their universe, their dimension. So then we get those dead souls that come and try to attack his zombie body, and you see the fight going on until
it's like a workout routine.
Yes. Until Christine's like, you're Doctor Strange. Like, get it together. And so eventually he's able to control the souls, and he makes this awesome cape of this souls cape, and he flies over to Scarlet Witch, and at the same time, then you have his dead body version of himself battling those, we're going to call them the mindless ones for now. And Wong, of course, is still alive. So he shows back up. He manages to get back up the mountain, and he kills a couple of them too. And Wanda's, he's able to free America Chavez. And of course, Stephen Strange in his zombified face gives her a great pep talk about using her powers, and she's about to he thinks she's going to use it to kill Wanda, but instead she uses it to show Wanda, she opens the portal to the household of that Wanda's universe, the one that they were in with the Illuminati, 813.
Listen, it doesn't
one
matter.
Of those, it's 813. It's those three numbers in some combination. Anyways, so the kids are scared of of Scarlet Witch, and of course their mom comes through, and this is where Scarlet Witch says, "No, I would never hurt you. I would never hurt you." And they're like, "Get that witch away from us!" I didn't know it was their mom. It looks just like their mom. It's so weird. And she has this moment with that version of herself, and that version whispers to her, just know that they will be taken care of. And of course, America Chavez closes the portal, and at that point, Wanda knows what she has to do. She realizes she's made a terrible mistake, and she ends up taking the entire Darkhold structure down, which I guess also then kills her too, though it did look like
no body, no
well
death.
No, I thought I saw something red kind of shoot out of the sky, so I thought
it could have been her body exploding, or it could have been her I changed my mind. I'm gonna go join Mephisto.
Yeah, so and of course America Chavez.
Chris, I'm so glad you brought that up because I thought I missed them too, and she just said what they were. What was it that she whispered?
She said, just know they'll be taken care of.
I completely did not hear her.
Yeah, that's what she said to her.
Oh, yeah. Cherry is saying, just know they will be loved.
Oh, that's what. Okay, it's some version of that. Thank you.
Okay,
yes.
Good.
Yes,
and Roy's saying 838.
838. Okay, I knew those numbers were in there. So, of course, that version's Doctor Strange goes down with it because then Doctor Strange leaves the body and America's like, I'm going to go find you. So, of course, that means she's going to punch her. Now she has control of her powers because it kind of takes a pep talk from Doctor Strange and everything that happens for her to be able to control her powers now. So she punches her way through the multiverse, finds our Doctor Strange. Of course, when the Wundagore Darkhold goes down, that the Darkhold in his universe he's currently in is destroyed, which probably means, according to what Doctor Strange says, all of the Darkholds are destroyed across all the multiverses. So I guess this is the starting point for every universe's Darkhold, I'm guessing. So America Chavez finds him and Christine. They take Christine back to her universe and they have a nice little goodbye, farewell. And of course, then him and America go back to their universe. And then we get a nice, ending sequence. He finally fixes the watch hand, the face of the watch that Christina gave him that was broken since the accident. He finally fixes it. Because remember, I forgot to mention it, but that watch plays a role in them finding the Book of Ashanti because his Doctor Strange used it as a key to open the door to get to the Book of Ashanti. So that watch plays a role. Lots of things play roles in this film. And then you see America Chavez is training to be a master of the mystic arts at Kamar-Taj with Wong. So she's staying there and she's super excited and very excited to be there. And of course, Doctor Strange heads back to New York. He's kind of like loving life, happy-go-lucky. Kind of how Spider-Man and Spider-Man would be at the end when he's like, my powers are gone and I'm happy and fancy-free. Until he gets that third eye that the other Doctor Strange had. And then the movie ends. And then we get our first end credit scene. And Doctor Strange is on the street again in front of the sanctum. And he has encountered a portal opens up. And it is Clea, the sorceress, played by Charlize Theron, which I completely forgot she was casted. But I did go back and I was like,
that, but not John Straczynski.
No, because it was like some articles in February. So Charlize Theron is now.
You noticed the scarf too from the Bachalo Jason
Yes.
Aaron. I did. Right. I told my brother. My brother doesn't read comics. I was like, I should have been sitting next to Amanda. She actually understood what I was talking about. Because Tommy was like, "What scarf?"
Yeah, so basically she's like, you broke the multiverse, you ready to fix it? And he takes that scarf and he makes it into his cape.
That was so pimp.
Every time he does that stuff, it's pimp. It's really cool. And then him and her go through the portal into the dark dimension, right? That was the dark dimension. Because that's what it looked like. It looked like Dormammu's dark dimension that we saw back in 2016.
Clea is Umar's daughter. And that's
exactly. That's why I was thinking that's her. Yeah, that's Dormammu's sister. So that means I would think it's the dark dimension.
So it's that third eye. I have Agamotto in the comics. He sees across the multiverse now. It's I think in the movie sense, it is like that. And it's also that he has been tampering with the dark arts. So, hey, he's evil. Because we saw evil Doctor Strange with a third eye. So that was the way of Sam Raimi, kind of pandering to the audience and saying, okay, third eye is evil. Now Doctor Strange has a third eye at the end of the movie. And
so maybe he's
the second end credit was just Sam Raimi having fun with his buddy Bruce Campbell, and that's it. I loved it.
Where he was because Stephen Strange had put the spell on him where he kept punching himself. And she's like, "Do you know what it's going to stop?" He's like, "Days, weeks, I don't know, just stop." And then eventually it stops. And he goes, "It's over." And then the movie was over. And he looks right at the camera when he said it. So it was cute. It was a great.
I noticed the woman that they focused on for a little bit. I did not immediately make a connection to Zelma, and I would have to watch it again.
I would have to watch that again because I was trying to see if I noticed anyone. I mean, but I'd be curious to see if that was Zelma. I mean, I'd have to look in the IMDb and see if they named her or anything.
Maybe he took it in him, the Darkhold, kind of like the way the Darkhold manipulated a little bit of Wanda. All right, let's break it down. The things that let's talk about the things we didn't like about the movie.
Wow,
I feel whoa, we're being invaded by a small child. Who is that?
That's Lynn. It's Landry.
Why would you answer that? I'm talking to her, obviously, not you.
Let me talk. Go
Okay, so right off the bat, the things that I did not like about the movie, I think I wish there had been more of a build-up for some of the characters that appear through here. And I'm not talking about the Illuminati. I thought that was handled well. I think the Illuminati was more of a, hey, comic book fans, the Illuminati are going to be in here. But we know you're going to watch the movie anyway, so I don't even know why they spoiled that to begin with. But we'll get to that.
That's what you're mad about, the marketing.
The marketing is the biggest mistake of this movie. I think it really could have benefited from getting to know America Chavez instead of having her throw because I like the kid. I thought she did a good job in the dynamic between her and Doctor Strange. I thought was genuine and sweet. Because, here we have it's almost like the exact opposite, right? He doesn't know this kid at all, and he's willing to risk his life to save her. Whereas Wanda's the exact opposite. She is destroying and killing people to get to her kids that may or may not even want to be with her.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I thought I wanted a little bit more of that. I thought it was a nice introduction to a character that I hope to see in future MCU, and this is coming from a guy that does not like comic book America Chavez at all, but cinematic America Chavez I'm good with. I kind of dig her.
I liked her.
I wish I had seen more magic in this. I think
instead of portal
jumping, and Doctor Strange is using unique ways of defeating villains, which makes him an interesting character. He's different than Wolverine. Wolverine popping his, and I love Wolverine. He pops his claws out. Let's take care of the bad guys. Doctor Strange figures out ways of taking care of villains depending on what villain he is facing. The CG at the very beginning of the movie was really off. Like,
we mentioned Wong gets,
Shumagorath or Gargantuous, whatever the hell they call him.
Gargantos,
because Robert E. Howard. But anyway, when he smacks Wong, like it's like a skinny Wong in CG. It hits a car, and then the cut is so awkward because
it reminds me of like some of the CGI cuts I've seen like in early Lord of the Rings with like Legolas when he has to do action. And sometimes when they do that, the Legolas, he just looks disproportionate and kind of fake.
Yeah.
When he's jumping on like the elephants and stuff. Yeah.
At this point in the game, we can't be like CG has to look on point because we've already we see how good CG can be, and we know they got the money to do it. There's no need like that scene where she is running from I'm gonna keep calling the damn thing Shumagorath because this is comic book name. Shumagorath, when she's running from him, that looks like a bad like green screen.
It was
I think it looked better in the trailer, maybe because I watched a trailer on my phone, but in the big screen, it looked like she was in front of a green screen running in place. It looks so bad. The tentacles. I don't know. That was the beginning. Later on, it's like they saved their budget for the last part of the movie.
Fight scenes, yeah.
What about you? What did you not like about the movie?
So, I think one of the things that I agree with you with America Chavez being thrown in there. That
you could as
I mean, it didn't give her character enough development. I know that she's probably getting her own series, or she'll probably show up somewhere else. Yeah,
nothing is as good as that,
baby.
Nothing gets better than practical effects. Catwoman, go ahead, man.
Yeah, so I wasn't a huge fan of that, but I think for me the biggest two issues I had were Doctor Strange and Wanda. Actually, Doctor Strange in that this is Doctor Strange's movie. But his arc, whatever it was, all it seemed to be, it was everyone else's movie but Doctor Strange's movie, right? That's how it felt.
I mean, they did the same thing with Civil War, right? They did the same thing with Spider-Man 3. And they did the same thing with Spider-Man 3 and
Spider-Man 3, like the Raimi Spider-Man 3,
no, the Tom Holland Spider-Man 3.
Well, no, that was about him though. That was about Tom Holland.
I mean, Spider-Man. Come on, who stole the show in that? Like,
well, they had their moments, but at the end of the day, it was about his arc of now he has to rely on himself. They just helped him through it. No one was really helping Steven through anything, like dealing with his love for Christine, I guess. But I mean, he kind of has dealt with it. It's not like it was something that he had to deal with or go through, like Tom Holland having to not kill Goblin at the end, right? Like there's like these arcs and stuff, which I felt like wasn't here for Doctor Strange. He just kind of was in his movie helping everyone along, or there wasn't any arc for him. So I didn't like that. And I'm okay. It was only a 2-hour movie, and not that you could do a good 2-hour movie, but I felt like we need a little bit more for Wanda. Like you had mentioned that you didn't think she'd turn evil until halfway through the movie. And that's what I was also expecting too. I felt there was a lot, you had to suspend your disbelief in that between the end credit sequence, if you are someone who waited that long and watched it at the end of WandaVision, between that and now, Wanda got fully corrupted by the Darkhold, completely. Like we have to suspend our disbelief that happened and not kind of see it play out or anything like that. And I think that was kind of hard for me, not to suspend my disbelief about it, but just to accept, because she obviously played evil very well. She was fantastic in it as far as her acting.
She was phenomenal in this.
Yes, but I guess she
was good in WandaVision though.
Yes, it was just really weird that would have been what would have, right off the bat, it was like she was going to be evil and the main villains at the entire story. I don't know if it would have been, maybe the idea is that it would have been too convoluted if there was another villain at the start. And while they used her, she eventually became corrupted, especially once she found out about America's powers. I mean, maybe that could have happened.
They could have done a red herring kind of thing. I will say this definitely does establish the fact that you have to watch everything in order to keep up with what is happening, right?
Yes,
because if you had not watched WandaVision, what children is Wanda talking about? Where really Vision is dead? Like what is she talking? Right? Because the last thing you saw was Endgame.
Exactly.
So if you just watch the movies, this definitely says you have to watch everything.
Exactly.
Except for What If. Exactly. We're planning on reviewing Moon Knight. I promise.
We are, as soon as we're done. What we promise.
There's a lot to talk about. We really
Moon Knight, unfortunately, wasn't even a full 45-minute episode, so we should be able to get through that one fairly quickly. So I think that was my main issue. I know there's been a lot of people who said that were disappointed that her villainy arcs just narrowed down to I'm a mom and I want kids. A lot of people thought that was, I guess because of the redemption.
When you say a lot of people, who had issues with that? Women?
I did see some women have issues with it, but a lot of people thought it just was a lot of other reviews I'd read or had watched, which is not really, I don't care either way.
Look, let me tell you something. Like as a parent, and maybe I'm speaking for myself, if anything were to turn me evil, it would be the love of my kids. Like if I don't have a problem with that at all. Like I think you do whatever it takes for your kids' lives, right?
Well, yeah.
And if they cease to exist, you will do anything.
But they never existed in the first place.
Including going evil, because that's what it does, right? I mean, love. Yeah. So I didn't have a problem with that at all. Like I thought I get it. That's a good push.
I guess so. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I
I
guess
thought
was
the transition was better than, I don't know,
more.
Anakin killing Yinglings out of
Well,
nowhere.
that was just no.
I'm just saying. I think the transition was
Yeah, I mean,
better handled.
Well, and see, that's the thing. That's where I think I needed more, because I didn't know she was going evil when she was in the Darkhold. I just thought she was exploring it at the end of WandaVision, the end credits, and she heard her kids and thought maybe they're in trouble in another universe. I thought that's what this was going to be about, or some version of that.
Okay.
I didn't know, and because we didn't get that, we just had to. It was automatically established that she's been doing this for this long time. She's been getting glimpses and they used the date of dreaming, which they had to create the dreaming thing. So I guess that was my main issue with
and it was established within the rules of the movie that having the Darkhold and possessing the Darkhold for long periods of time makes you grow a third eye and be evil. I mean, they flat out lay it for you, right? Like, hey, this
they do as the movie progresses, and you realize it's true.
So it may not just be all that, throw in the evil thing. So but I see what you're saying. It definitely feels like
I feel like it would have been more earned if I had more to go on, and I think that says the same for Steven. Someone else has said it is Steven did get development because he takes a backseat of his own movie, because they always talk about how it's supposed to be all about him. I guess so.
How would No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness have been different? Thank you for the super chat, Spencer.
Yes, thank you.
Have been different if the releases were switched as originally planned, in your opinion?
You mean No Way Home? Or no, wait. Was Far From Home and that supposed to be switched?
He's saying No Way Home. He corrected himself and saying.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Well,
can I be
how
honest?
would you establish the whole multiverse without breaking the laws? Then, like,
well, we already know Loki happened, so we know multiverse exists, right?
Yeah, but you need to kind of do it in a movie though, because I don't know.
Well, maybe to be fair, they only mentioned Spider-Man once in this. You could have established the multiverse with this just fine.
Yeah, that is true.
Because I really thought the Spider-Man thing would have more of an effect, because they kept talking like it's supposed to affect this film. Did it do anything? I was America Chavez that initiated everything. She's the one who jumped through portals. I mean, and Wanda, I don't think No Way Home made her see the Darkhold, made her see the multiverse.
Loki established the rule that the multiverse was created and changed because of Kang, right?
Yes, and
Kang is already going around, and boy, you talk about being like somebody's spouse that is dragged to see these movies. I'd be like, what the hell is going on?
Yes.
What do you mean the universe and the timelines are changing? So I think Amanda's right. I see Sam Raimi handling that. Like, he could have handled the multiverse, the introduction of the multiverse just fine.
I just don't think they would have changed the movies that much. Now, I will say, if this came out first, then Steven being so careless into making a spell that could potentially create a bring people from multiverses may not have happened. That's the only thing I think would have been different, right?
There was no mention to go to
Sean's question
point. There was no mention of Mephisto, but there was mention of the Chthon. Like, it was in the movie. I thought that was a nice little Easter egg. So 30 minutes was confirmed cut. Rumor is Loki cameo was cut for time. I was okay with the lack of cameos. People seem to have, like, my brother told me, like, the biggest complaint about this movie is the lack of cameo and the big push for MCU type of things. And I'm like, that's when the movie was good to me, when it was Sam Raimi doing Sam Raimi things. Like, I enjoyed that about the movie. That's my favorite thing about the movie was you can only do so much with PG-13, but we've not seen that in a superhero movie. They've tried to do that in TV shows, maybe with like that episode of What If with the zombies. But I think for the movie, I thought it was handled really well. The whole thing, the whole thing with the Illuminati, I thought was perfect. I don't need I get it. Yeah, the Illuminati, group of secret guys hanging out together. All right, cool. They make decisions. Kill them off. Like, that's how you want to establish how bad your villain is, how powerful they are. You kill off the most powerful characters in here, including 1992 Professor Xavier X-Men animated series.
Yeah.
No, so I kind of like that.
It's so weird it says they're cut for time because it's not a long Marvel movie. I mean, obviously we've seen way longer. And
we've seen 3 hours, right? With Endgame?
Yeah, with Endgame. And even Spider-Man was close to 3 hours. So I'm really shocked that they wanted to cut it down almost just a little over 2 hours and not even by cutting some stuff out.
I feel the same way, Bert.
Yes.
Like it felt like a Sam Raimi flick. It reminded me of Darkman and Spider-Man. And even a lot of the musical score, like I said, from Danny Elfman reminded me a little bit of Batman. Like it reminded me a little bit of the Batman theme and of Spider-Man.
Yes, that's what I kept noticing, because Spider-Man, I kept noticing the Sam Raimi Spider-Man scores in there a lot. The little just notes here and there, obviously.
I mean, I wonder what they would have. What could they have added for 30 minutes? More cameos? More? I don't know.
Maybe
honestly,
I would have been happy with more development on Scarlet Witch becoming evil and something along those lines. That could have been 30 minutes well worth it, because I see a lot of other people in the chat who were not pleased with character progression either. So maybe it could have spent a little bit more on character progression. That would have been my only thing. But
you get rid of the whole Illuminati.
Oh, we never because now we know that John Krasinski. There's a reason John Watts is no longer directing Fantastic Four. Give it 2 weeks.
Are you starting?
Give it a week or two. But they're going to announce John Krasinski starring in Fantastic Four.
Oh my God! Stop it!
He's going to be directing it.
Stop it! You know what? Then he better cast Dwight as Mr. Fantastic. All right. Things that you really liked, or things that you liked about anything else you did not like about the?
No, those are my main things. Yeah, but overall, I did enjoy the film. So if I, for what it was, and obviously I didn't want to go in expecting a bunch of crazy cameos. That's why I was like, I'm not going to do the same, like, just like with Spider-Man No Way Home, I was going to go in expecting like 1,000 cameos. So I wasn't disappointed that Tom Cruise wasn't in it. Though I still want to know who the heck made Ultron bots. If there's, I guess Mr. Fantastic could have.
You know who it was? It was Tom Cruise, but he couldn't make it. So that's who it was. Dwight as Doom is to be the perfect casting member.
Oh, this is a good one. Yes. The mention of his sister, that was a really weird drop, because they didn't mention he had any siblings.
That's like the Illuminati thing to me. That is exactly, that is for comic book fans. That's how it happened in the. I mean, Doctor Strange has a really tragic backstory. I mean, with his parents, with his sister, and then asking, like, later on, asking forgiveness for them, from them, because he left and he wasn't there for them. I thought it was a nice. Oh my God, Edgar Gonzalez, a man after my own heart, should have had Howard as Tony Stark, baby. He should have.
Yeah, but it would have been nice to kind of, I guess, I don't know, just seem kind of put in a weird spot. Anyways, so what I did like about it, so I really enjoyed the movie. I thought the Illuminati, while brief, was a great cameo. Does not mean we won't see some of those characters ever again. Even some of those actors, probably not Anson Mount as Black Bolt. I mean, they may do try another Inhumans, but they could just give it a rest. We have the Eternals now to deal with. So, really enjoyed that, especially how Scarlet Witch was able to decimate them very quickly. Because you're right, it does show their, her strengths and how powerful of which I did mention something to you. I said, didn't, like, when Captain Marvel came out, Kevin Feige said she was the most powerful Avenger. I'm pretty sure this proves she's not. And you're like, well, she's not an Avenger right now, is she? I was like, I guess not. Because he did say he was going to get her back on the lunchbox. I did like that reference when he said all of the, I'm tired of asking all the bug varieties of, like, superheroes. I was like, well, no one called Ant-Man to ask all this problem. Quantumanium, buddy. So
I'll get Amanda started on this, man.
Ooh, I have an article for you, Classic Rock, later, and talk about that if we make it to it. So overall, I really liked. I think Benedict Cumberbatch great as Doctor Strange. Elizabeth Olsen. I mean, this role, she really knocks it out of the park. As she relished.
She's great.
Her role in this. She is brilliant. I mean, now that she's definitely had all these movies and stuff and especially WandaVision to hone this. She's wonderful, and I expect we'll see her again, because we don't know where the heck White Vision's at. He's still hanging out somewhere. He flew off. We don't know what he's doing, contemplating the universe, becoming more human, probably. You
say White Vision, I always think of, like, Brown Abed and White Abed. Like, I'm glad, like I said, I was happy with that though. No inclusion of Vision or Ralph Boner or her brother. I was good with that because it makes sense. She has one focus, she has one drive, and that's all that matters. Why does skin color matter?
He's not our Vision. He's that, he's
Oh no, you gotta dig yourself out of that one, dude. She played the villainess better than Agatha Harkness, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought she was great. Like, I was tired. Remember, my issue with Marvel movies is that I'm tired of these whimsical
villains that are not truly evil.
And then, and then yes, they tell a joke to like make the situation. Yeah, they just play down what is really happening. But it's Sam Raimi, so you know that he's going to do that anyway. He's the master of throwing hokiness and campiness with horror elements.
Yeah.
He's found that balance long before there were other people that were kind of copying his style. So to me, he is the perfect, the perfect Marvel director. I really hope he comes back and does more, because that's what Marvel wants. Like, they want this balance of like hokey humor, campiness. Yep. Let's not get crazy and make Spider-Man 3. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and
nothing was hokey. Nothing was campier than watching, and I loved it. It wasn't like I'm not knocking it because I thought it was brilliant. Watching the zombie Doctor Strange talking to her.
Oh, like I said, that was so
campy and wonderful, and exactly what I would have wanted. So I was really happy with it. No, and I thought America
was happy with that type of villain.
Yes,
there was not a single. I can't think of a single line that actually her character has done that has been goofy and quippy.
Just in WandaVision when she's playing like in her
but
in the different TV styles, that's it. So she makes the jokes in that situation, but she's not really quippy.
Yeah, I thought she did a good, and I was happy to see that. I was happy to see.
Nah, that wasn't quippy.
I was happy to see a good character arc, like a good person. Because I mean, I'm not gonna quote "We live in a society," but it goes back to that theory from The Killing Joke that one bad day could turn anyone into a supervillain.
Yeah,
and this has been a long time coming, and it's something that I wanted to see in WandaVision, and maybe that's why I like this movie so much, was because my expectations of WandaVision were like, oh my god, they're gonna make her batshit crazy, and she is going to kill people. Because in WandaVision, she just manipulated people and took over their brains, right?
Out of grief, yeah.
Right? To deal with grief. And she learned there was a redemption arc. In this, she is like murdering people. And how do you come back from that? I was happy with that. I in a way, I kind of maybe wanted another member of the Illuminati, because they really ruined the big surprise for me, which was Professor Xavier. Like, that was their marketing. And it's not the movie's fault. It's just that was the way
the marketing team.
I hated that. I would have been. I told my brothers when we were in the car, I would have been losing my mind if I saw that in the movie theater with the X-Men theme playing and he just rolled. And I was half expecting the Sam Raimi thing of like, as she's walking, Professor X just rolling in and just running over her with his hover chair in one scene.
Yeah.
Main thing from this Doctor Strange movie is that I want more Wanda. I don't know if we'll get that, right?
Not anytime soon now. We'll definitely get another Doctor Strange.
The Illuminati from another dimension died in the comics during the Incursion, which was the Jonathan Hickman era, which is all leading to the Secret Wars from 2015.
Yes. Which will be interesting to see. No, but I really liked the horror in it. That was fantastic. And the music, Danny Elfman, I mean, like, that musical notes fight scene was one of my favorites.
You like that?
I really liked it a lot. I loved just the reflection. That's why I called it out, because I really liked how she used the reflections to kind of grab at her and find her, and the way she crawled out. I thought that was fantastic. But yeah, overall, for what it was, I definitely enjoyed the film. So it wasn't like, the character progression, the character issues that I had, I could put that aside, because at the end of the day, I enjoyed the film for what it was, and it was action-packed. It was definitely enjoyable. I never felt like it dragged. It was a good pacing. I think we talked about that too. The pacing was pretty good in this film as well. I felt like it kept going, and we didn't have any lulls where I was like, where it felt dragging at any point in time.
Yeah, I was happy with. Like I said, maybe when people are saying that it could have been longer, there's a 30-minute cut. I was thinking maybe it could have been like 15 minutes shorter, tightening up some scenes. But I was okay with it. It was a good movie to me. I can see people's issues with it. If you're huge comic book fans, you're like, oh my God, the Illuminati's the best thing ever. For me, I've always hated that retcon. I never liked Brian Michael Bendis' Illuminati idea. I thought the idea was stupid and didn't make any sense. I think Jonathan Hickman expanded on it, and to see it in a movie, it's interesting. But sure, I like the way it was handled. I like that they were just thrown off. So yeah, it was nice. Anything else you want to add?
Looks like this film is eyeing for a $200 million domestic gross this weekend.
Okay.
It's already at, as of Friday night, it was already at a 90 million domestically, 139 million internationally. So
y'all need to stop with these casting.
Kevin Malone. Ooh, would that mean Pam Beasley gonna be Sue Storm?
No, dude, this is progressive Disney. We gotta have Kelly as Sue Storm.
Oh my God, I would so be on board with Mindy Kaling.
Oh my God, I know you're just like that character.
I love Mindy Kaling. I'd be so happy if she was in anything.
Mindy Kaling.
She doesn't have a role in Ms. She's not a role, but she didn't have a hand in any part of Ms. Marvel, right? No writing.
Who's that?
Mindy Kaling. Sorry, I'm gonna look it up. Anyways, go ahead.
Ms. Marvel, is it? Oh, I don't know. Are we going to see any of the Illuminati members again as other variants? I think so, because that was that universe, that universe. That was their Illuminati. I'd love to see Baron Mordo explain to everyone, well, we made a mistake.
Yes.
You guys see the dark and neon-looking city when they were falling through the universes. That could have been 2099. I kept looking through those. I kept looking through like the different universes. The only thing I caught was the Living Tribunal. There was one that I was trying to see what it had a bunch of words on it, but I couldn't catch it because it was going too fast. Yep, Captain Carter's getting her own comic.
Oh, that's awesome.
Joan for Sue Storm. I don't remember her character's name.
Karen.
Oh my gosh, her name was Karen.
Yeah, I still think we're gonna see John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. You can't. I mean, that's fan service, but you can't.
I'll be honest with you, and this is not me picking on you or messing with you. I really think that was a
one-off.
That was a one-off thing that, as a, to please fans and also him, because he tried out for the role of Captain America and was.
I know you were thinking he might be Captain America, just they would give him that chance, but
I think people maybe we're expecting Captain Carter. I don't know. In the movie, if the movie's still banned in China due to that 1 second scene of the Epoch Times paper, I don't know. I thought the movie was banned because of America Chavez's parents. That's all I heard.
Okay.
Which was all but like maybe less than 30 seconds. Michael Scott is the Beyonder. Dude, keep them coming. These are cracking me up. All right. For anybody that has seen this movie, and if you watch this later, by all means, leave your ratings at the bottom. What would you give this out of 10, young lady?
I give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Solid movie.
Same. It was a good movie. I'll watch it again. Yeah.
Am I gonna watch it 3 times in theater like Spider-Man? Probably not. But
America was wearing where's that comment? America was wearing a pride pin.
She was wearing a rainbow.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
There it is.
Another reviewer I watched had mentioned that too. Yeah.
Creed is the watcher.
All right, guys. Creed.
I love it.
All right.
8 out of 10. 9.
9.
9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. 8 out of 10. 7.5. 9. 8. I like to get a tattoo. Hayden, this must have been one of your favorites. 8 out of 10. Awesome. 7 out of 10. 7.5. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. It made me want to run home.
Me too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I have a video for you. I have a video called.
You do have a video. I just watched it.
probably. Did you hit that like button? No. Probably an 8. I want to see it again. 7 out of 10. See it again. There are parts I liked, but I got kind of bored. Respect. 6 out of 6.5. 7.5. Roy really liked it. 10 out of 10. 6. He had a question earlier I wanted to answer.
Dylan, yeah.
8 Dundies out of 10. You can't throw shit from The Office in a movie and not expect Office puns. 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7.5. Around the same. 8 out of 10 from Saturday Morning Band. 6 out of 10. I did have problems with the film, but it wasn't bad. Top 3 MCU movie. Wow, that is. Whew. Wait, what's your other 2? What are your other 2 though, Hayden?
And why is Spider-Man No Way Home number 1? I'm just kidding.
I'll be honest. To me, like Doctor Strange 1 is just middle of the road. It's okay.
It was just average, MCU shit. Though I did like
have some really cool like
special
CG
effects
with the buildings and stuff. I thought that was cool. 8.5 out of 10. Watching America accidentally throw her parents into another. That was rough. You're right. And
wild is that?
And like the comics, right?
Yes.
Based on the synopsis of 5 out of 10. Just based on it. You haven't seen the movie. I love it.
I mean, I am trying to go back and forth. It could probably be better. I was just gonna say that.
Curtis, are you Curtis? We had a thing earlier, Curtis, and now you lost me. Almost as good as Ant-Man 2. Oh man, that movie sucked. My others are No Way Home and Winter Soldier, top choices.
Winter choice, yeah.
Toby and Oscar as moment. Tight. I don't know, man. I think it's my age and nostalgia. I like TD. I think he's phenomenal. I love
he is
every one of his movies. But Sam Raimi, I don't think anything. I don't know how many times I have watched Army of Darkness. Like that is like my wife went to see Spider-Man 1 like 7 times in the movie theater. That's how much she loves that movie. I did not. I only saw it 3 times in the theater. I don't think I've seen a movie in the theater that much in a long time. Oh no, I hate that movies. Right? Me too. I wish I could throw my parents into a.
Yeah.
8 out of 10. After Night Nurse last film, we at last got Clea. We did.
Yeah.
Whether she ever comes back, whether
I'm sure it's Charlize Theron. They don't just cast someone like that and say, "Yep, you did a great cameo in that end credit scene."
And the thing is, it's like, why are they casting these big names? Quit spending money on
I know you want no names or like lesser known names.
No, spend less money and give me some better special effects.
I don't want Zac Efron as Johnny Storm.
He's not going to cost them much. Not as much as her.
No, she's an Oscar winner. She costs a lot.
Then again, they got Ben Kingsley twice.
I know, but because we are already at 9:30, let's do Moon Knight quickly. And just to recap, I think after watching Doctor Strange and of course watching Moon Knight, we can all agree that Marvel Phase 4 is everyone needs therapy. Everyone has mommy and daddy issues. Everyone has a lot of internal stuff that's going on that they all need help. And that is I think that's the main takeaway that we could get from all of these properties.
Before we do that, let's make it official. Hold on a second.
Change the background.
You know what I'm going to do. We got to make it official. Go.
We're changing to Moon Knight. Cat Dennings.
There we go. And changing it official. Now I can't even see the words. So just in case, if you've not seen Moon Knight episode 6, come back later after you watch it, or if you don't care, then
just stay and listen to us talk about it.
Still have you here, but we are going to be talking about Moon Knight episode 6 and some spoilers there.
Yeah. So.
Can you do this? You got this?
I'll go really fast because it's actually It's actually really short.
It is a short episode.
Yeah, the episode is definitely less than 40 minutes as far as the episode is concerned. So Moon Knight episode 6. Leaves us right where we left off with Mark hanging out in the field of reeds, and Ethan Hawke's character, Arthur Harrow, has awoken Amit, and she is going to pass judgment, and we get an awesome giant alligator. Is it an alligator or crocodile? Wait, hold on. Someone make sure I get this right. Alligator or crocodile. Does it matter?
In Egypt? It's very important.
Yeah.
This is how you get canceled. If you don't get it, if you don't get the animal right, if you don't get that god,
I think it's crocodile. The crocodile goddess Amit, and she is big, massive.
Big massive.
Yeah, big, massive crocodile goddess. And she is now out and it's going to she wants to pass judgment on everyone. So Mark is in the field of reeds. Tarwet's there with him, and she's like, you know, you can stay here and be happy. You're free. Everything's happy. And he's like, no, I have to go back. I have to get Steven. So he immediately jumps out of the field of reeds back into the Duat and goes to Steven, and he tries to save Steven's life, and just as he's taken by the Duat, Osiris decides to grant them life again, and he manages to save Steven, and they go back into their body that was shot. Yay! So they're back. That was super quick. That happened really fast. So we got Steven back into Mark's body. So now Steven and Mark are off trying to they have to go and defeat Arthur Harrow. So Arthur Harrow now has Amit, and Layla was there, obviously hiding in the pyramid, or in the tomb of Alexander the Great. So she disguised herself as one of Arthur Harrow's men, and she kind of hitches a ride with them back to the Great Pyramid, where they can go and resurrect Amit out of her statue. And as she's there, Tarwet starts talking to her through some dead bodies, because at a checkpoint, they're trying to get through a checkpoint, and the guards won't let them through. So again, Arthur Harrow judges them, and a couple of them die. And when their dead bodies are there, Tarwet enters them and tries to talk to Layla and says, Mark needs you to go and free Khonshu. And also, hey, you could be my avatar. And she's like, no. And so she hitches a ride back to the Great Pyramids. And in the Great Pyramids, very easily, they just defeat all these avatars. All of the avatars. Osiris is everyone's, who should have known better. Mark tried to tell them, but they didn't listen. And
God usually don't.
Yeah, gods usually don't listen. So of course their avatars die, and Layla decides to let Tarwet, let her. I'll be your avatar for right now, just temporary. So she enters her body as an avatar. She gets a cool new costume. Later on, we learn from the director that her name is the Scarlet Scarab, which is a character in the comics.
Okay, are you gonna let me do? You gonna let me do my job?
Oh, fun fact: can I do wings? Which we could talk about why a hippo goddess's costume has wings and not what I guess.
That was so weird. It was her father, right? Like,
yes,
that was the original Scarlet Scarab. So, like, why? Yeah, it made no sense at all. And the Scarlet Scarab wasn't even like a. Where's he from? Like the Invaders, I think, or Captain America. Just like an Egyptian warrior, and he was like a villain at first. It was like a one-off kind of thing, and it was just anyway. I have my issues with this episode, but continue.
Yes, so obviously Arthur Harrow frees Amit, and now they're going to go ahead and pass judgment on everyone. Layla frees Khonshu, and he of course is like, "Do you want me my avatar?" She's like, "No. No, after what you did to Mark, no, never." So of course,
in the sand with Anakin.
Yeah, God,
man, so coarse.
So of course, Mark and Khonshu are able to reunite, and Mark's like, "This is the last time. I'm going to help you defeat Amit, and then we're done." He's like, "Okay." So of course, he becomes Moon Knight again, and this is when we get more Moon Knight. We get a ton of Moon Knight action.
We finally get the Moon Knight.
Now that him and Steven are together, it's really cool to see how quickly Oscar Isaac has to switch roles real fast, becoming Steven or becoming Moon Knight. And then they make it to the outside of the Great Pyramid, into the streets of the city, and they're fighting Harrow's henchmen. And of course, you get to see as their personalities switch on and off, because now Steven can fight too. You're seeing the costume change intermittently, and there's some great action sequences here. And of course,
there's a big kaiju fight between gods.
Yes, then you have Khonshu and Amit in the background, and they're just like, boom. I love it.
When I get a Moon Knight show, that was the last thing I was expecting.
To get two gods fighting, like two giant
big kaiju
gods.
So it's like, what?
Yes. And so, and even Amit kind of like burns, gives Khonshu a burn. She's like, "Ooh, time has not been kind to you." Because I guess he must have looked better back then and not some like skeleton raven head. So there we go. He must look better before. So they're fighting, and of course, Mark and Steven, and then Layla shows up, and the three of them are fighting. But then they kind of start to get overtaken, and that's when they black out again. And as they black out, they come to, and all these people are just killed and just mutilated, all the henchmen, right? And he's like, that wasn't you, was it, Steven? No, that wasn't me. So now there's still that whole idea of there's a third personality there still in there that was not addressed in the last episode. Episode 5. So they have their final fight with Harrow, and of course they're able to defeat him. And what they have to do is they take they have to do the spell with Layla, and they put Amit's body into Harrow, but just like not like she's possessing him, like forcing her into his body, I guess, and that traps him into her body. And I guess it's different than him willfully letting her possess him as an avatar.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like,
okay, thank you. I was
interact. They lay the rules in this stupid show, but the kaiju monsters can destroy things in the real world. I didn't get that either.
Yeah, I'm still confused about being trapped and being an avatar. So then Khonshu's like, now you have to kill Harrow because that's where Amit is. And Mark and Steven are like, no, we're not going to kill him. We're done doing your bidding. We're not going to kill him anymore. And so they say, you promised us that you'd take this away. So that he said, fine, I'll take it away. And then they wake up in their apartment. They're still chained to the bed.
Back to episode 1.
And there's 2 goldfish instead of 1 now.
Nice catch.
And they seem to be in perfect harmony, but Mark, of course, does not like the fact that Steven keeps the apartment really dirty. And that kind of ends the show until we get to the end credits scene where you see Arthur Harrow in a mental institution, and someone comes in to take him out and release him. And it's Gentleman's Hands, and he's wheeling him out to a big, long, stretch white limo that has Spectre on the modified word on the license plate. They put Harrow in the car, and Khonshu's just hanging out in the car. And
wearing a nice suit, man.
Wearing a nice suit.
Boy, that dude was pimping out that suit.
That's right. And then he says, Mark, of course I agreed to let Mark and Steven go, but they don't realize that there's another personality. Meet my friend Jake Lockley. And then the window rolls down.
For some reason speaks Spanish.
And it's Oscar Isaac as Jake Lockley, who looks like the cab driver, which we know from the comics. Jake Lockley is the cabbie. And we don't see it, but of course he takes his gun and he shoots Arthur Harrow. And that's the end, which opens up.
Wow, that was like the fastest,
well, like I said, did I miss anything major? Let me know. But I feel like I hit a lot of notes.
There was a QR code in this one, but I don't know where it took.
Okay, that was, yeah. I wouldn't be able to tell you that anyways. I've yet to find them. So that was my recap. So let's talk about it.
Okay, this episode, I like the action sequences. I thought they were nice.
What everyone was wanting. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I'm not sure about everyone. I was wanting even after the big reveal in episode 4, which was was it episode 5? I'm sorry, with the background. With
that was yeah.
That was a beautiful episode. I thought that was really nice. The whole Jake Lockley thing, man. I don't know. Like why? Nope. Yes. Rest in peace to George Perez. That's why I'm wearing his shirt, man. In his honor. I love this cover, dude. Yeah, I have a lot to say about that. I put a little thing on social media about it as soon as I found out. It's sad.
Yeah,
he was. He really set the bar as like being a gentleman and like just being a good person.
Yes.
So sorry. Back to Moon Knight. The it's hard not to judge the series as a whole, which we will do. As far as this episode, it was way too short.
Way too short.
But in a way, I kind of wanted that because I was just ready to be done. I feel like Oscar Isaacs, oh my gosh, he was phenomenal in this. Mm-hmm. So it really throws my rating off because introducing the character of Layla in there to be an avatar for a guy. What was the point of that? You already have a very confusing story. Like, why can't we just focus on Moon Knight? Why can't we just focus on that? We don't need a female lead. I don't know. Maybe we do these days. I don't know. It just felt way too forced.
It did.
It just really didn't think that was needed. The whole kaiju fight was not what I was expecting. Moon Knight finally, Mr. Knight and Moon Knight fighting. I finally got to see that. That was really nice and welcome. I thought the special effects for special effects were 50-50 in this episode.
Yeah.
Some of the CG was just really bad. The story ending and bringing back home to that first episode.
Abrupt.
Yeah, I don't. And him slamming his face on the ground. There's been talks that there is not going to be a season 2, so why even bother with the whole Jake Lockley thing? And that's just like the Illuminati thing in Doctor Strange. That is just
though today the director had come out and said that he feels there needs to be more Moon Knight. So I think that there is going to be more Moon Knight.
Phil, I felt the same way about this show. I just didn't care.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I really liked episode 5. I thought that was a great episode. Then I think maybe they should have just had episode 1, episode 3. I'm sorry, episode 1, episode 5, and then maybe this wrap-up episode. Without the use of gods fighting and without Layla. I think that would have made a better, tighter show. Introduce the concept of, the dissociative disorder, identity disorder.
Well, when
you throw in the Hulk elements that Barry Windsor-Smith and Bill Mantlo created.
Mm-hmm. The backstory,
creating the persona of Mark Spector. Or I'm sorry, creating the persona of Stephen Grant. I think that was unique for a Marvel movie to do, a Marvel TV show. So I was hoping that they would focus more on that. I don't know. And I found out that the writers of this show and the directors were, I'm 50-50 with their movies. I like one of their movies a lot, and the other movie I was not a fan of at all. And I kind of feel like that about the show.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they say something? Yeah, there is supposed to be a Werewolf by Night Halloween
special. But given the nature of this, see, that's what, if that's the only appearance or the next appearance we see of Moon Knight, it's going to be really interesting considering. So there's a host of issues I have overall with the series.
Talk to me about this.
And logic.
And we can give it our rating.
The series logic and rules for how all this works.
Right,
so,
Aaron? Why didn't they just do
that end credit scene? Jake Lockley's not dressed as Moon Knight or anything like that. Does he actually? We know in the comics. Are there more? Now, am I wrong or am I right or wrong? There's only 2 main costumes for Moon Knight, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so Mr. Knight, that persona came with Warren Ellis's run on the title, but he was actually like Batman. He was a detective helping police officers out. For the TV show, I don't even know the purpose of Mr. Knight. Remember, I thought it was just it's just there for a little Easter egg for fans.
No, it's that's Steven's personality. That's why I don't understand the rules behind it. So if Moon Knight shows up in Werewolf by Night as the next thing that happens, Mark and Steven do not think they're Moon Knight anymore. Just Jake Lockley, but he doesn't have that costume. I don't know. I'm just confused. But there's lots of things like the rules of the avatars. I was confused about the fact that they can willfully possess, them, but then she can also be trapped in his body, which someone has said, I thought Harrow can't see Khonshu. Maybe he can only see him at that end because he has Amit inside of him, and that's why he can see him.
He was wearing that pimp suit.
Yeah, he's wearing that pimp suit. But those are some iffy rules, and also the fact, the whole idea of the duat. If Jake Lockley's in there and Steven got off the boat, how are his scales balanced? What is Jake just so subconscious, so hidden in the subconscious that not even the duat can register him? Does that not right? Because is that his duality? He's him and Jake are balanced, but him and Steven and Jake is not balanced. So lots of questions I have about that concept they're trying to bring around. And I don't know if that'll ever get resolved now and the explanation behind it. But there's just a little bit of issues I have with the overall story and plot. And those are some of those main issues I have. And yeah, I mean, Layla she's a great actress.
She was good. And it's not her fault.
No, it's just when you're dealing with something like that, with bringing multiple personalities, you really could have just been fine with Oscar Isaacs. I know it's a big haul for him to act several different characters on his own, but he has the ability to do it, and he was doing it very well. The strongest episode was the one where it was just him acting two different people. No one else was really involved. I mean, okay, Ethan Hawke was in there temporarily as the villain / the counselor, right? So he was in there too, and that's fine. Yeah. But
Jake Lockley, hold on. Jake Lockley appears at the end in the end credits of the 6th episode. That's what.
Yeah, if you keep watching past the main credits, there's a end credit scene where Mark Spector, but he's Jake Lockley. That's the personality. Goes to the mental institution, takes Ethan Hawke's character out of the mental institution into a big car where Khonshu's waiting, and then Khonshu introduces Mark's third personality to Arthur Harrow before he shoots.
Which they've hinted at in the TV within the
several times. And even when Harrow was standing over his body at the beginning of this episode, he said, "Goodbye, Mark, Steven, whoever else may be in there." Okay, that's laying it on a little thick there.
But I wonder if, like, for his personality or his costume, they'll go the route of like Midnight Man, somebody opposite of Moon Knight, somebody that
because he's
or something, right? Like, if we're gonna introduce the concept of different costumes for different personalities, holy crap! Then I guess Midnight Man kind of fits that persona of Jake Lockley that's in the TV show. I like confusing plot lines. I like being confused and not knowing what's real or not. But this show just, I don't know if it ever captured what it wanted to be. And it sucks because I feel like you have Ethan Hawke, to me, as a phenomenal actor. And Oscar Isaacs has been a godsend to like the world of television and movies. He's just great in everything he's in, with the exception of Apocalypse, but we don't talk about that. And Layla did a great job. I feel like when you have a strong cast like that, and the plot and dialogue is just kind of everywhere. I don't know. As far as this episode, I mean, this episode was like a 6 to me. And that's being like...
I was left sorely disappointed, especially after episode 5, because I felt like it was so wonderful. And then I felt like everything was wrapped up a little too neatly, even though we had the Jake Lockley at the end. Still, everything was wrapped up. And I was also disappointed with Arthur Harrow's arc too, because I mean... I didn't need to see the gods fighting. I would have, because if Khonshu's power is in Moon Knight, right? Why didn't Arthur Harrow, as the avatar for Amit, then consume her powers, and then he gets some cool costume or something, and it's the two of them fighting? Because to me, it's just Mark Spector as Moon Knight fighting a man with a little bit crippled man at the end of the day, because it's really Amit and Khonshu fighting. That was underwhelming for me, because now he's just at the end of the day, he was just a henchman. It was never about, he never was going to be any more powerful than a henchman. Amit was the one with all the power, and he was just a sideline. So it's kind of disappointing because Ethan Hawke, I felt like that was a missed opportunity. But anyways,
when you have somebody like, I think Ethan Hawke is a phenomenal actor. He's done a lot of great things. Yes, and I think Trent, I thought about that too, how he passed away in real life, and that's the character that would have become Midnight Man. So maybe in a way, it could be a way to still work Midnight Man into the story and kind of confuse people even further. This episode is 6 out of 10 for me. What about you, Panda?
I was disappointed.
And then we can do the series.
I'd say 5. I was disappointed. I really
wow,
wanted,
that's your lowest score for
I wanted something because it was the last episode of the whole season. And yes, I know they put it in the Emmys for consideration for limited series, but Side note, guys, Big Little Lies was also in 2017 put in one for a limited series and then came out in season 2. And season 2 ended up being in just drama. So it is possible and it can happen. I'm just saying.
What?
It will happen. Like if they nominate this for a limited series, then we come back after the Emmys and they've announced second season, then just that means second season is going to end up in a drama category. But
so if you've seen this particular episode, what would you give it out of 10?
Yeah, give it
just
out
for
of
this
10.
episode, and then we'll do a whole series.
Regardless of the season or series finale, it just left me wanting. I was just disappointed with it. I don't
and honestly, unlike Doctor Strange, I didn't know what to expect from this show. Like in a way, Doctor Strange, with that title, with the inclusion of Wanda, I kind of, in a way, I had expectations. Granted, I was wrong in a couple of them. With this, I had no idea where it was going to go, so my expectations were, I didn't have any. I was like, okay, let's do it. Moon Knight. Oh my God, episode 5, brilliant. Let's throw in it was episode 4 with a big cliffhanger.
Yeah.
About the mental institution. Oh my God, they went there. Okay, this can be good. They can bring it back because they lost me with episode 2.
Yeah.
They kind of lost me with episode 3. And episode 4, I'm like, oh, nice. Way to fool me.
Yeah.
I like that. Episode 5 had that whole heart. Had a lot of heart. And episode 6 brought it back to episodes 2 and 3. Shortest episode. I think the series.
What would you give the series?
I think because of Oscar Isaac, because of his acting and using that script and the changing of his facial feature. Like I was blown away by him.
He deserves,
and I wouldn't have, and I don't think I would have appreciated him as much if not for this show. I would say, 6.5 probably for this series, which I think is a little higher than. I still think my least favorite series of this Disney era has been Falcon Winter Soldier. I was not a fan of that. I mean, yes, I don't even consider What If one of these shows, but yeah, I guess What If is still lower than that. It was not a good show for me. Overall, 6.5. What about you? What would you give the series as a whole and everybody else that is watching?
I think I give the series as a whole probably a 7 out of 10. If I was going to aggregate all my scores together, it'd be about a 7 out of 10.
That episode 4 and 5 are good, though.
I think I might. I'm going to go back at some point and rewatch it from start to finish and see how that affects it. But yeah, this last episode really disappointed me because I do love Oscar Isaacs as Moon Knight. He did such a phenomenal job.
Great. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I would like to see him again. So hopefully its reception was well received enough that Disney will consider a next season maybe, or
it's a Marvel show, right? Those tend to do well no matter how bad they are. I assume What If is getting a second season. They can bring
exactly. I don't know if you watched What If, but I don't know how the numbers work in Disney Plus. They don't really release that stuff.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit different. 8.5 out of 10 for the show overall. 7 out of 10, 6 overall. Right. Oscar Isaac, Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight, was awesome. 5.5 out of 10 for the episode. God damn it, boy, is that a real saying? 5 out of 10 for the series. Acting is
really it is. Tapsologic kept bringing up the fact that they, in the beginning of the season, brought up the whole Harrow putting glass in his shoes, and then we never bring it up again. Like, what's like, why? Just to portray a character trait?
Did they not do it?
We brought up the goldfish multiple times. Like,
that was the name of the damn episode, though. Like,
exactly. I know. It's just.
What If is getting a season 2? 6 seems to be a real disappointment for many. Yeah. The disappointment is not on the actors, though. I think they did a phenomenal job.
Let's say it's not the actors. Yeah.
Oscar Isaac deserves 2 Emmys. Dude, but have you all seen The Offer? Oh my God. First of all, I am not a Miles Teller fan, but that show has won me kind of over.
I do want to watch that. Yeah.
It is so, like, if you
now you're gonna love him in Top Gun.
So the thing is, okay, let's not get crazy. The thing is like, if you like The Godfather, if that's like one of your favorite movies, you're gonna love this. Because it's all about Al Reddy, the producer that put it all together. And holy crap, the things that they had to go through. And Al Reddy is played by Miles Teller. It also has Juno, the girl from she was in Vinyl. She's in Ted Lasso. My gosh, what's her name? Real skinny girl, Tweety.
Juno Temple.
Juno Temple, yeah. And she's great. American accent. Has a lot of other different actors in it. I'm enjoying the hell out of that show. That is my type of show. But back to this. Man, yeah. It's going to be interesting. You know, we've seen bad movies win awards before, though. It's not unlikely that's not going to happen. We've seen Oscar-winning Suicide Squad. Oscar-winning Suicide Squad.
For an acting category, that's fine. I've seen a lot of, middle-of-the-road movies. Like, a lot of people, like The Eyes of Tammy Faye Baker, not a lot of people gave the movie itself great reviews, but a lot of people loved Jessica Chastain's performance, and then she won the Oscar for it. Well-deserved, because she was fantastic in that movie. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it's possible Oscar Isaac will still get a nomination, maybe even a win, because he did a really great job. I just don't know what else is going to be in the limited series category this year.
There was blood on the ground. Okay, and somebody brought it up. Let's see here. He harms himself in a form of penance. In episode 6, we see Harrow walk across the asylum office with bloody footprints. Seems like without being powered by his god, the glass was cutting him. So maybe that's
okay. So that's where that would make sense. Thank you for the super chat again, Jack.
Thank you, Jack Ferry. Oh, Oscar. I almost said Omar. Oscar should use his real last name, Hernandez. Yeah, but I mean, it's Hollywood, right? Like we've seen that for years. I mean, look at Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen. Honestly, I think Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness was better than Moon Knight. I think I agree with that. If only the rest of the series was as good as the last 2 episodes. I think episodes 4 and 5 were my favorite. I thought they were 4 was the game changer that I was like, okay, that's where it's going to go. And then 5 was like, wow, this is a different type of hero show.
Yeah.
She should win an Oscar just for being Jessica Chastain.
She's phenomenal. She's a great actress.
Great. Speaking of Moon Knight, when is Volume 2 overview? Monday, my brother. Volume 2 is Monday. Haven't seen Doctor Strange 2, but I saw spoilers on purpose. Look at Polly Lopes, because I didn't really care about this movie anyways, and what they did to the Illuminati was disrespectful, so you get Tuesday for context. Go and watch it, man.
Yeah, go watch it. Yep. Joy Ford it is. Great. That's a great joke. I'm going to use it.
So a Jew, Brit, and Guatemalan walk into a bar. They're the same. That's what threw me off with the whole Jake Lockley thing. I'm like, man, I don't know no Latino named Jake Lockley.
That's also what I was like, gonna give him a different name if you're gonna. Jake Lockley's not.
I don't know what the hell is Jake in Spanish. I don't even know, but they should have. My dude can act, so I guess he does whatever he wants to.
They took some choices there. That's what it is.
But I don't think the God powers made him not get hurt. Harrow hurts himself on purpose for the sins he committed in the past. Ahmed brings this up in the last episode. I really cannot remember. I didn't immediately connect the bloody footprints with the glass in the shoes part. I didn't either.
Neither did I. I had to, but now it makes sense. But still.
I'm at the point where I'm tired of the MCU. Oh man, not me. I'm so ready for Thor, ready for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
baby.
I mean it's hard. You see that Thor: Love and Thunder. Wait, we got the new pick.
We do?
Bam!
Oh, look at
God, she is just wow. She looks great. I'm super excited. I'm so excited for this movie. Because just when you think you're getting tired of it, and then Taika Waititi comes out with that.
As soon as I heard that first note of "Sweet Child of Mine," I was hooked back in. Man, I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. She was already 10 o'clock.
Lockley is a Spanish name. Yep. It is. Oscar Isaac wanted to make Stephen English. I bet it was Oscar Isaac. He's like, I want to make Jake Spanish.
He's like, I want to showcase everything I'm able to do, even if it's only for 2 seconds. He's like, I'm gonna get the most out of this.
Dude, her arm,
I know.
That hammer, don't weigh. That's not a plastic hammer. Man, and don't forget about the TV news this week. Cobra Kai season 5.
Cobra Kai!
I cannot wait. Terry Silver's
I wonder
back.
how that the actor who plays Miguel because he's also doing Blue Beetle. I wonder how they're working out the filming schedules for
That's
all
why
that.
he's in Mexico. I'm sure there's only going to be like 2 episodes or something.
True, yeah.
Javier Lockley. That's it. That's what he should be good.
No,
dude, way to represent the Jewish community, Latino community, and what else is he? What else did you say?
English. He's just
English.
An English bloke named Steven Grant.
Yeah. I'm excited for that. Is there any other news before we wrap up tonight, Panda?
Nothing that we can't push off until next week. That's totally necessary. So because we still got to next week is gonna be interesting. That's a great question because wait, let me look at my drive quick. Because now that Doctor Strange is out.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is out.
I don't know what's
next. What's the next TV show for the MCU on Disney Plus? Because both, man.
Okay, so no, we might have a break and then Obi-Wan. Because the next one is Ms. Marvel, and that's come out till the beginning of June. In the middle of Obi-Wan's run.
When is Obi-Wan coming out?
23rd, right? Yes.
Of May?
Yes, right
before. We could always do. Was it really that bad?
I think that's what I had planned. Where is mine?
It's a Monday, May 23rd. Comes out on a Monday.
No, that weekend before that Thursday or whatever Wednesday. I think that it comes out. What is the date on that? 26th or the 27th. One of those days. 26th, 27th.
Welcome to Near Me Conditional. We're gonna get our dates straight one day. Yep.
Yeah, so that's the next thing that's coming out. I thought I made a calendar.
You did make a calendar.
That I sent to you.
Off-topic question. Just bought Volume 1 of Paper Girls. What did you think about it? I liked it. I liked the way it wrapped up. I thought it was really good. What, a whole week with no Hollywood stars assaulting members of the public? Ridiculous. I think everybody is checked now. Everybody's they're all on alert. All the PR people are like, nope, your ass ain't going out. Not until this stupid movie comes out. Chris Hemsworth, you stay home. Everybody stays home. Nobody's allowed to go out and drink anymore, especially if you're in Hawaii or where else, Ireland.
Somewhere like that. Yeah.
Sounds like a great time to remap that Miss Marvel omnibus, right, dude? Okay, Obi-Wan launches on Friday the 27th.
That's right.
Seating episodes are
on. They pushed it back to the 25th. So that's what it was.
So that's what we'll do if you guys like Star Wars, which we hope you do. I mean,
we do hope you do.
Because I'm so excited. Did you see the latest trailer?
I did see the latest trailer. It was very
interesting.
Yes.
I really still hope we see Darth Maul in it, but once you get Vader and Christian, it's going to be hard to put both of them in there.
Yeah, right? I don't want them to do what they've been doing some other stuff in the Marvel show, put too much in there. So.
Yeah, I'm okay. Dude, it's Darth Maul. We need that fight. We need a rematch, man. You cut me in half, and it was set up in Solo, so we kind of need that. We could do DMZ. Was it better?
I thought we were talking about doing DMZ. Like a movie versus or TV show versus comic, was it really that bad? Yeah, I think we had a was it really that bad that we wanted to do?
We used to let people vote. Do y'all want to vote again for what we do
for this Friday?
Yeah, we put
and we'll talk. Then we'll have time to talk about more news too.
Yeah. So
maybe at that point, DC will replace Amber Heard with Emilia Clarke, and then we'll.
That shouldn't take too much. We'll put up a poll on YouTube, on Monday, Tuesday, something like that, and then you all can vote for the movie that we watch. Was it really that bad? Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. And then maybe watch DMZ and compare it to the comic book, which was better. All right, Panda.
Sign us off. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And remember to follow us on all of our social media channels at NearMintCon. Remember to check us out on Patreon if you want to support us for $1 a month or more. You can help me babysit my kids so I can go on some date nights maybe, or maybe go see more of these movies on opening night instead of having to find someone. Also, check us out on Spreadshop for great Near Mint Edition merchandise. And last but not least, if it's classy and cool, it must be Near Mint. Good evening and good journey, everyone. And we will see you next week, and we'll have a poll on Tuesday for what we will talk about. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you, everyone. Good journey.